Close your eyes for a moment and travel back to your childhood dinner table. There it is, sitting in the center of your plate, like a miniature dark green forest. Broccoli. For some, it was just a side dish. But for you, it was a battlefield. Maybe you remember that sharp, metallic tang hitting the back of your tongue, a bitterness so aggressive it felt less like food and more like a warning. You were probably told you were being difficult or picky. Perhaps you were even shamed for not having a mature palate. But here is what nobody tells you. That reaction wasn't a tantrum. It was a high-resolution report from your internal security system. You see, we've been conditioned to believe that taste is a matter of preference, like choosing a favorite color. We think some people are just brave eaters, while others are stubborn. But that's the obvious explanation, and it's completely wrong. The truth is far more fascinating. You aren't hating your vegetables. Your tongue is actually perceiving a reality that other people are literally blind to. While your friend is eating a bland piece of fiber, you are tasting a complex chemical signature that your brain interprets as a threat. In the world of gastrophysics, we call people like you supertasters. It sounds like a superhero name, and in many ways it is. Your mouth is equipped with a denser network of sensors than the average person. You aren't lacking a sophisticated palate. You possess one that is so finely tuned it borders on the extreme. You are essentially hearing a symphony while everyone else is just hearing white noise. If you've felt this pull before, you're not alone. Stick with me, because what I'm about to show you will change how you look at your next meal forever. We are going to peel back the skin of modern nutrition to reveal the ancient, invisible machinery that dictates your every bite. Because understanding why you hate broccoli is the first step to understanding the masterpiece of evolution that is your own body. To understand why your brain treats a florid of broccoli like a toxic intruder, we have to travel back nearly 10,000 years. Imagine a small tribe wandering the sun-drenched savannas. There are no grocery stores, no nutrition labels, and no FDA. In this world, every meal is a gamble. Nature is beautiful, yes, but it is also a chemist, and not always a kind one. Plants don't want to be eaten. Since they can't run away or bite back, they've developed a different kind of defense. Alkaloids. These are bitter-tasting compounds that serve as a keep out sign. In the wild, bitterness is the universal language for I am trying to kill you. Now, imagine two members of this ancient tribe. The first is a non-taster. He has a dull palate. He encounters a strange new shrub, bites into it, and tastes nothing but crunch. He swallows it. 10 minutes later, he's incapacitated by toxins. He doesn't survive to pass on his genes. The second member is you, the supertaster. As soon as your tongue touches that same leaf, your brain sets off a 5-alarm fire. That sharp, acrid bite causes you to gag and spit it out instantly. You find it repulsive. You find it gross. But most importantly, you stay alive. In the Pleistocene era, you were the most valuable member of the tribe. You were the chief safety officer. While others were focused on calories, you were focused on chemistry. Your sensitivity to bitter compounds wasn't a defect. It was the ultimate survival luxury. You were the one who could distinguish between a nutritious root and a poisonous lookalike that differed by only a few molecules of bitterness. This is the biological ghost that still haunts your dinner plate. When you sit down in a modern restaurant and recoil at the taste of kale or Brussels sprouts, you are experiencing a 10,000-year-old echo. Your DNA hasn't realized that you're safe in a suburban kitchen. It still thinks you're in the wild, and it is doing everything in its power to make sure you don't swallow the poison. You aren't being childish. You are being a survivor. Your tongue is literally trying to save your life, even if the danger is just a side of steamed greens. So, how does this actually work inside your head? If we could shrink down and stand on the surface of your tongue, it would look like a vast, pink mountain range. Those bumps you see in the mirror are called papillae, and they are the docking stations for your sense of taste. For a supertaster, this landscape is crowded. You have significantly more of these fungi-form papillae than the average person. Think of your tongue like a digital camera. A non-taster is looking at the world in 480p, blurry and low detail. You, however, are seeing the world in 8K Ultra HD. Every chemical nuance is magnified. At the heart of this high-definition vision is a specific piece of genetic code called the TAS2R38 gene. Think of this gene as a mechanical lock on a high-security vault. In the world of biology, molecules are like keys. When you eat broccoli, it releases a specific compound called PTC, phenylthiocarbamide. If you have the sensitive version of this gene, the PTC molecule fits into the lock perfectly. It turns, the vault opens, and a signal travels at lightning speed to your brain saying, "Acrid, bitter, danger!" It's a precision-engineered laser scan. However, if you have the insensitive version of the gene, the lock is rusty and the key doesn't fit. You chew the broccoli and think, tastes like nothing. Your brain is essentially an old, powerful machine running a very specific program. It's not checking for vitamins, it's checking for molecular compatibility. When you experience that yuck factor, it's actually your TAS2R38 gene performing a rapid-fire chemical analysis in milliseconds. You are a biological laboratory in human form. If this deep dive into your own biology is making sense to you, hit that like button. It helps our community grow and ensures more people understand the code behind their cravings. Understanding that your pickiness is actually a genetic superpower changes the conversation from one of guilt to one of awe at the complexity of your own hardware. Imagine your brain as an ancient computer. It's running software designed for a different world, but the hardware, your tongue, is state-of-the-art. Every time you eat, you are running a diagnostic test. The results of that test aren't opinions. They are data points. And for you, the data says that certain vegetables are loud, clanging alarms. Here is where the story takes a darker turn. We live in a world that has been engineered to be tasty, but at a massive biological cost. The food industry knows about your TAS2R38 gene. They know that bitterness is the enemy of profit, because if a vegetable is bitter, children won't eat it, and if children won't eat it, parents won't buy it. So, over the last few decades, industrial agriculture has performed a sort of biological lobotomy on our vegetables. Farmers have selectively bred broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and kale to be less bitter. They are literally silencing the plant's natural voice. But here's the catch. Those bitter compounds, the ones your tongue is so good at detecting, are actually the most nutritious parts. They are called glucosinolates, and they are nature's most potent cancer fighters. By breeding out the bitterness, the industry is making vegetables snackable and bland, effectively turning off your internal alarm system. They are hacking your ancient survival mechanism. They want to turn your 8K high-definition tongue back into a low-resolution sensor so you can consume more without friction. And when they can't breathe the flavor out, they mask it. They use the big three: salt, sugar, and fat. Have you ever noticed that you can eat bitter broccoli if it's smothered in cheese sauce or deep-fried? That's not a coincidence. Salt blocks the bitterness receptors on your tongue. It's like putting earplugs on your taste buds so they can't hear the plant screaming, "Danger!" We are being conditioned to ignore our own biological wisdom. The modern diet is designed to bypass your security gates, tricking your brain into thinking a meal is safe and rewarding when, in reality, it has been stripped of its defensive and medicinal power. You are caught in a crossfire between your 200,000-year-old survival instincts and a trillion-dollar industry that wants to make those instincts obsolete. This creates a paradox. The very sensitivity that once protected your life is now what makes it hard to eat healthy in a world of muted flavors. When you eat a modern, sweet grocery store tomato, your brain isn't being alerted to anything. It's a silent meal. But the moment you encounter a wild heirloom variety, your elite tongue might recoil. You are experiencing the friction of a world that is moving too fast for your genes to keep up. So, where does this leave you? If you're a supertaster, are you just doomed to a life of choking down poisonous greens or feeling guilty at dinner parties? Absolutely not. The moment you move from guilt to understanding, you regain control. You aren't broken or picky. You are simply highly calibrated. And once you understand the physics of your palate, you can start to negotiate with it. Instead of fighting your biology, you can work with it. Remember how I mentioned that salt muffles bitterness? That's your secret weapon. A pinch of high-quality sea salt on your broccoli isn't just for flavor, it's a chemical intervention. It changes how the TAS2R38 gene communicates with your brain. Squeezing a lemon over your greens uses acid to distract the sensors. Roasting vegetables triggers the Maillard reaction, turning those scary bitter compounds into complex toasted sugars that your brain recognizes as high-energy rewards. You can stop apologizing for your tongue. Your sensitivity is a relic of a time when you were the guardian of your people. It's a sign that your biological hardware is working exactly as it was designed to. You are more evolved, more alert, and more chemically aware than the people who can eat anything without a second thought. The next time someone calls you a picky eater, just smile. You know the truth. You're not being difficult. You're just listening to a frequency they can't even hear. You are a supertaster, a living bridge to our ancestral past, carrying a sophisticated laboratory in your mouth. And if you want to keep decoding the mysteries of your own mind, subscribe. There are many more biological secrets waiting to be translated. We've only just begun to scratch the surface of why we do what we do and why we taste what we taste. Welcome to the community of the curious. Welcome to Neural Palate. Think of your palate as a high-performance sports car. It's harder to drive, and it's sensitive to the smallest bumps in the road, but the experience is infinitely more intense. Embrace that intensity. Your no to a bad piece of broccoli is a yes to the incredible precision of your own existence. You are a masterpiece of evolutionary engineering. Treat yourself as such.